Hello, everyone. It's been a while since I've talked about people of size. Boogie2988 is a legend of YouTube, of an era long past when YouTube was just all about simple and cheap laughs. Nowadays, Boogie still kind of posts. He's still active on the internet. He's on Twitter all the time, but he's been on a path of self-destruction for years, scrounging for nickels and dimes to pay off the many bills that he's incurred. So how did this all happen? Why has he fallen off so hard?
Take it back! Take it the fuck back!
You've probably seen this guy's videos. Maybe this classic.
Oh my god, it's a PlayStation 4! It's a PlayStation 4!
Maybe dramatic fat guy splash. There's a lot of great content this guy used to make. The difference from then to now is unbelievable. So sit down, strap in, press the like button, I guess, if you want, if you like the video. And here's Boogie2988. Boogie2988, aka Stephen J. Williams, is a YouTuber who started blowing up between 2012 and 2013.
I got tagged by my friend Damn Drops and my friend Jordan. They both wanted me to do the stupid ice bucket challenge. So I'm gonna do it a little differently. Instead of using water, we're gonna use gamer fuel in this show.
Boogie used to be a massive legend online, and he was known throughout the internet as the Dorito Mountain Dew guy, or Francis.
Hey guys, Francis here. I like the fish. The aroma that we're getting here is...
He used to do these funny little sketches with his character Francis. It was a fellow with a lisp and anger issues who would just get so mad and people took his stuff, especially his Mountain Dew. I used to think that Francis was a real character. I didn't realize that this was fake. And by the way, I was like 15, 16, 17 at the time. Super embarrassing. I just thought it was some crazy person of size out there just screaming and yelling. One of his most known videos is a video where he's looking for his Mountain Dew for his raid.
Did you drink my Mountain Dew? Did you drink my Mountain Dew? Let me smell your breath. Let me smell your breath.
Let me smell your breath.
He reminds me so much of that guy from Jurassic Park.
You didn't say the magic word.
Please! God damn it!
These are the type of videos that appeal to the broadest audiences on YouTube back in those days, 2012, 2013.
Why would you give me a Furby? I don't want a Furby, I want Borderlands 2!
Simple, elegant, easy to understand, a lot of screaming, person of size. The man has a lot of views on a lot of videos. And by the way, it wasn't just I that thought the Francis character was real at the time. There was a lot of people, probably a lion's share. Well, maybe not a lion's share. I'm just kind of, you know, glazing myself a little bit. I do have to say though, thinking that this character is real makes these videos a lot more entertaining. His whole shtick was getting angry and breaking stuff. Or yelling, screaming at people.
How many fucking years did you guys count to? I'm not Cartman, stop calling me Cartman!
He played the character perfectly. Many people thought it was true. Me, I did. Now this content, like all content on YouTube, has a shelf life, and things really started to decline for Boogie. After his blow up in 2012 and 2013, things really started to decline for Boogie. Views slowly started to fall off over time. Years went by. The attention wasn't paid as much to him. Instead, there were other people to fill the void, other epic content creators. At some point, Boogie also lost a bunch of weight, had a couple surgeries.
Another big thing, and I was very nervous to talk about this, but I am going to talk about it. I had a meeting with a weight loss surgeon, and now here we are, 1 year later, post-surgery.
And got new fucking giant teeth.
For those of you who have noticed throughout the years, my terribly maintained and awfully rotten teeth, we're going on an adventure to get it changed.
We shot the promo, and it's so exciting. So follow that link. If you know somebody who needs help, this is maybe your chance, and I'm rooting for you guys.
Looks great, comparatively speaking. In 2020, a man by the name of Frank Hassel came to Boogie's home and started hassling him.
Yeah, on 3, pull the trigger. Okay. Is this what I have to do?
And Boogie had a firearm and pointed it at him and then discharged it. You can't just fire a warning shot at someone. That isn't really how that works. It's pretty insane.
This is my home. You are not welcome here. You have threatened my life. I'm asking you to leave. I'm asking you to leave.
You pointing a gun at me?
Yes. You are on my property. You have threatened my life.
You are a fat.
Castle doctrine.
You're a fat.
Castle Doctrine means I get to take you inside and fuck you.
Okay.
So that's pretty tough to watch, you know. That's a big L on both sides there. And you can't just shoot a warning shot up into the sky. Bullets, they fly. They have a trajectory because it's a thing. It's like a thing that it doesn't just like shoot and then it dissolve. And it takes a long time for a bullet to slow down to the level to where it's not dangerous. And since he lives in a community and a neighborhood, that's pretty bad. Bad trigger discipline too. The whole situation makes me think that he shouldn't have a gun. Then he points the gun at the guy, which that's probably what he should have done at first. If he's threatened, I don't really fucking know. At the end of the day, Boogie fell for all of Frank Castle's traps and didn't back down even when there was a gun pulled at him. After this transpired, Boogie made a video letting everyone know the true story.
I pulled a gun on him. I told him to leave my property. I told him that I felt threatened. I fired a warning shot so that he would leave.
The hilarious part about this is he doesn't know he'll get into trouble for firing a warning shot.
I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for firing a warning shot. I don't know if Frank is going to get in trouble. I don't know how this is going to play out.
Like, it's not a big deal to fire a fucking gun into the air in a neighborhood, which you probably aren't even allowed to shoot a gun at all in your neighborhood. There's a certain amount of space you have to shoot a gun into a berm. Like, there's a lot of... There's laws. Now, to be clear, I'm not that cool with people just showing up at people's houses because stuff like this happens. It's lucky that it was this situation and no one was hurt. It is bad. It is completely and totally bad. I'm glad he's safe, but very, very, very fucking stupid. Imagine if Jack's Films fired a warning shot. Then Steven gets an arrest warrant, turns himself in, is arrested, and then bailed out later.
So due to the incident that happened last September, there was an arrest warrant issued for me on May the 7th. On May the 12th, I was processed in about 3.5 hours. We posted bail after I was processed, and then I've been awaiting in my home ever since, waiting for trial.
In this time, he was dealing with a lot of legal issues, as you could imagine, but time goes by, he gets all that stuff sorted out, and he made a video stating the legal issues were over and he will not be going to jail.
Obviously, I'm not going to jail. Did I fuck up? Yeah, I did. Should I have ever been put in that situation to begin with? No. The state, the judge, everyone obviously understood that.
That doesn't mean he walked away unpunished. He was charged with a felony. The defendant discharged a firearm into a residential neighborhood, thereby manifesting an extreme indifference to the value of human life and creating a substantial danger of death or physical injury. Yeah, I agree. That's pretty fucking dumb. But wait, we got to go back in time a little bit because there's more context that is important. It's not legal related stuff. It's crypto related stuff. Before the legal issues were over, Boogie uploaded a video saying he had almost put everything he had into cryptocurrency.
It was a very stupid, risky maneuver, but I invested pretty much everything I had into cryptocurrency.
He talks about how all of his memberships and donations from Twitch were set aside and would be gambled into crypto. Literally gambled into crypto.
I made you guys a promise a long time ago when I started on Twitch television and started memberships and subscriptions and donations that I would take all of that money that you gave me and set it aside. And that's where it's set for the longest time, in PayPal. And yes, when I got divorced, I split that money down the middle, but the vast majority of that money sat there safely until I gambled it on crypto.
And this was 2 years ago during the peak of crypto. Now, can you imagine what happened after this? Do you think that A, happened? He has a lot of money and he's rich from crypto? Or B, he lost all of his money? Go ahead and comment down below what you think.
Well, this is a video I've dreaded making, but I put my money in the crypto market in the wrong section, and I pretty much lost most of everything.
Okay, we saw that coming. It's funny to me that he thought people would celebrate all the money that they've given him was being put into crypto and invested when people know he's in legal trouble behind the scenes. Man doesn't have any money. What does he do? Get a job? No. He asks for money. He begs for money on his Patreon and releases terrible merch.
I've never really pressed my Patreon or press channel memberships, but I kind of have to now. And if you like a t-shirt, buy a t-shirt. I make like a $9 profit off of a $25 purchase.
He also asked people to donate to him on Twitch and send bits.
If you watch my live streams and you want to donate, throw bits at me, subscribe there. That's obviously also an option.
After this video comes out, he makes another update video claiming that the support was huge. He raised over $1,000. He then also gives an excuse as to why he can't get a normal job.
On top of that, I'm mentally ill. I also have no work history, pretty much ever. The last job I actually had was back in 2007, and the woman who hired me for a small business has been dead since 2008. On top of that, I'm also a felon.
You can put candy into bags if you want. You can come to my factory and I'll pay you a living wage to put candy into bags if you want. Go to sour.gg and buy some fucking rainbow sour boys for a limited time only. All right, guys. I'm not even sure if they're still up right now. I'm recording this well in advance. Also, we have limited edition patches right now too. The little strawberry butt and pretty fucking cool. Go to sour.gg, buy it now. The good news is he has a job though.
And that job is creating YouTube content and live streaming, and it just currently doesn't pay the bills because I'm not working enough.
Creating content. It's a job. It just doesn't pay the bills because he doesn't create enough content and not enough people are watching. So it's not a job, basically. Dude is full of excuses, and this is something that you will notice is a trend. You probably have already noticed it's a trend. Man is so out of touch, he didn't even realize what was wrong until far later.
But with that fresh perspective in my mind, I saw people's problem with that video. It's not that I was asking for Patreon or sponsorship or anything like that. It's the fact that I wasted my money gambling it on crypto like an idiot, spending it on collectibles and traveling, and now I'm asking my audience to bail me out.
So we know Boogie's financial history, we know his criminal history, we know just sort of what he was doing a long time ago. What about ladies? What about his sex life? What about his romantic life? What's he doing there? I think at one point he had a wife. I remember they got divorced. I don't know, I didn't look into it. I just kind of remember that.
My marriage here on YouTube has been very public. I think every time I've made a rambling video, I've talked about my wife and the things that we are doing. I've talked about the travels we've made. Back towards the middle of October, she told me that she was thinking about separating now that I was out of the surgery and now that I was nice and healthy. We talked about it and decided that she should take a break in November, which she did. She was gone for about 3 weeks, and about 2 weeks into that, she called up and said that she had made her decision, that she wanted things to be a more permanent change, and that we should start moving in that direction.
Well, now he's got a new girlfriend in 2023, and she's 20 years old. And this is them going to the water park.
Are you gonna do the lazy river with me? Yes, I am. Are you just gonna sit in a beach chair and look pretty?
Yep, that too.
There you go. Nice. I love my little Mortal Kombat bag. Ed Boon, send me a new one for the new Mortal Kombat.
And this is someone congratulating him on being a father because she's less than half of his age. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. He loves flaunting this girl, by the way, which I'm not one to tell someone how they can and can't behave in a relationship. Boogie makes jokes that his girlfriend is a sex doll and flaunts her a lot.
Yeah. You can't bring a sex doll to my house.
It's not, Mike, it's not, I mean, she's kind of sexy, and she's a doll, but she's a real person. Mike, we're coming by the house.
I cannot imagine being a girl, a 20-year-old girl. I'm a 27-year-old man. I kind of know the interests of a 20-year-old person, maybe. Imagine being 20 and having to hang out with your 50-year-old boyfriend and his old fucking friends all day long. And you're just like a weird trophy.
One of them was for me.
It's so strange.
It's nice to have the whole family out, you know?
So Boogie has fallen from grace. He's become a lolcow. And recently, a fellow by the name of Mike Clum, someone we interviewed on the Some Ordinary podcast, that yes, I realize I do not contribute a lot, especially in that episode.
How about you tell us all about who you were working with for the last few months?
Yeah, so I was working with Stephen Williams, aka Boogie2988, who, as we see in this documentary, is a very self-deprecating, some would call obese individual.
So this fellow Mike Clum, an absolute genius who just appeared out of nowhere and made a Netflix quality documentary and just posted it for free on YouTube.
When I'm on my deathbed, the biggest regret I will ever have is knowing that I had a job that every person in the world would fucking kill for.
He really broke down Boogie2988 and how depressing and terrible his life is. I recommend going and checking it out. I'm just gonna kind of glaze over some of the relevant stuff here. I don't want to steal this fucking thing. It's incredible. The documentary exposes so much about Boogie and makes it hard to believe that he got the fucking green light because it is bad. It's a bad look. It gives an audience a clear window into what's been happening behind the scenes, which led to Boogie's astoundingly tragic fall from grace. Even 3 years ago, back in the I Am Finally Rich crypto ironic video that aged extremely poorly, Boogie even says that he could have quit YouTube and streaming and just lived the life that he lives for 5 to 10 years.
I'm going to continue to live the life that I live right now, and I have enough money to do that, even if I quit YouTube, even if I quit streaming, even if I gave up on this entirely for the next 5, maybe 10 years.
Which is true. I mean, it doesn't cost that much money to live. You can just kind of put yourself into a smaller box, downsize, sell your house, buy a smaller house, sell your car, buy a shittier car. But now we know Boogie has lost everything as of October of last year.
And I pretty much lost most of everything.
But it's covered even clearer in Mike's documentary, showing that he has $750. That's after his mortgage payment is taken out. Now, one question I have is he pays $2,000 for his mortgage, apparently, but he owes $165,000 on his home. He has $105,000 in equity. So he has a $270,000 house. That's a pretty average costing house. A $2,000 mortgage payment is pretty high for a $275,000 house. I mean, if he's paying that off, he's got 7 years of principal left. I just don't understand how why your payment would be $2,000 unless you have a really bad interest rate, which he probably does. I don't know. It's kind of confusing there. And then of his remaining $758, he spends 100 of it on a new soundbar. Classic, awesome, genius move.
I know I'm budgeting, but I immediately went to Amazon and bought a soundbar for $100. And then the next day, the TV stopped crackling. And now I have a $100 soundbar that I don't need.
Guy's got his affairs in order for sure. Anyone who's familiar with Boogie could probably guess or knows the biggest problems in his life.
I don't like showing it to people, and people don't like seeing it. So that's why I'm going to die alone.
He's always had a bad attitude towards himself. He lacks motivation, doesn't strive to do anything that doesn't come easy to him. He still struggles with his weight because it's just easy to not care about it. He struggles with finances because it's easy to live like you have enough money. It's way more difficult to buckle down and change your lifestyle and be more financially secure. His attitude is a recurring issue that's been around since the beginning, and it recurs in Mike's documentary and encapsulates the reason why his audience has abandoned him. On top of losing financial security, Boogie also lost attention and the feeling of love that he got from his audience and his wife that he once had. He turned to sex workers for attention and spent way too much money on these women. He didn't just pay for sex, he treated it like real dates, like a fucking actual incel lunatic.
I took women on vacations, and I took them out to fancy dinners, and I took them to like Disneyland and shit.
It's disgusting when you hear him describe women like they're objects who are just there to satisfy your cravings. It's kind of odd, to be honest. Bit suspicious.
I like beautiful women. I like to hang out with beautiful women, fuck beautiful women. We all do. I never got to do that. The women I dated were pretty, sure, but they were like Arkansas 8s. Not LA 10s.
At one point, he even describes it as window shopping at a meat market.
But then it's window shopping, right? Like any other meat market like Tinder, you kind of scroll down the list of photos until you find someone that looks interesting to you.
This to me is not what a actual lovable, nice guy would say or think or be honest about, because it's like what he portrayed himself as for a little while. He's not that way. He's weird. Mike does an excellent job contrasting different perspectives in this documentary as well. He interviews one of the sex workers that Boogie hired, and she, in this interview, reveals that Boogie was one of the reasons she quit sex work.
I am now married with 2 kids, and sleeping with Boogie is one of the reasons I quit sex work.
And then it's followed up with Boogie saying it doesn't care if he sounds like he's sexist or misogynistic. He is a piece of shit.
Is that sexist to me? Sure. Is that womanizing me? Sure. I don't really care. I'm a 48-year-old man. I never got to fuck a model. This let me fuck a couple of models. Is that wrong?
The worst part of all this is just his sense of entitlement, by the way. He thinks he just deserves things by being a person, and somehow that makes him valuable when he doesn't work for anything or earn anything honestly or truthfully. Very rarely are things just given to you. And if they are, they disappear, like lottery winnings. I kind of think this is what happened to him on YouTube.
So I deserve to go to Disneyland with a beautiful girl, right? I deserve to go to New York and explore Times Square with a beautiful girl, right? Like, I deserve that, and I want that, and I've never had it.
This documentary is an absolute fucking shit fest. It's incredible. It's very well done, extremely entertaining, and I recommend watching it for sure.
I know we're making this documentary and everything, and I know you think I need to get a real job, but I just want to let you know I'm not going to. I'm not going to walk into some job when I have 4 million subscribers on YouTube? I'm one of the original YouTubers.
Since he's built up an audience, he feels entitled to the views. Oh my God. And when he's not talking about his entitlement, he talks very poorly of himself. He talks in the most depressing way. He thinks he's gonna die alone. He has a victim complex. He relates to Pac-Man because he's round, eats everything in sight, and is chased by ghosts.
So this is the classic. I mean, I even have a Pac-Man tattoo. This is the game I most identify with because it's about a little round guy running through a maze trying to figure shit out, eating everything in sight, and getting chased by ghosts of his past.
He even then gives a list of everything that's wrong with him.
Low testosterone, testicular hypogonadism, sleep apnea, swelling due to blockages of lymphatic flow, seborrheic eczema, chronic back pain, protein in urine.
It's so depressing and sad to be around Boogie and just be in his life that Mike had to take a break from filming for a while because he was overwhelmingly depressed.
I wanted to make like a documentary that was generally entertaining. You realize, wait a second, everything he says is depressing.
In the last half of the documentary, his girlfriend is heavily featured. They've even talked about getting married. Awesome. Love knows no bounds.
I can see myself getting married to Boogie.
I could definitely see us getting married. In fact, we may or may not have talked about it a little bit, and we may or may not sit around fantasizing about it and thinking about what it's going to look like.
There could be a debate all day about the ethics of having a girlfriend that's half your age, especially after hearing the meat market comments in Arkansas 8s versus Los Angeles 10s. It's super weird, super distasteful. I don't even know what the fuck's going on. She does all the chores, which is a huge plus for him. The whole thing is a vicious cycle. It's an Ouroboros, the snake continuously and ceaselessly eating its tail. And we can all relate to it in some way, and that this guy is just like a perfect representation of almost all the sins, all 7 of them. Genuinely, like he really is all of those things. But at the end of the documentary, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Boogie puts on a last-ditch effort, one that would make Joe Rogan proud. He decides to work with a shaman and use psychedelics in an attempt to rewire his brain. And this will let him process his past trauma and do something else. I don't fucking know.
There's a lot of research that came out of Europe, and now we're doing it here in the United States, where psychedelics can help reset certain brains. People who experience childhood abuse, people who've gone through trauma, people who deal with post-traumatic stress disorder, and I'm all of those.
He does reveal that this is the first time he's ever felt happy.
Oh my God. This is the first time I've ever felt happiness.
And the day after, he doesn't care about his video games and he feels more in control for the first time. I don't know, dude, it's so fucking insane, bro.
It's just all bullshit. Like, none of this matters. None of it. It's all a construct. It's all a simulation. It's a fucking video game. I think I'm still in it. Except I'm also in this physical corporal body, but I'm also the incorporeal being that puppets it and controls it, and god damn it, I feel like I'm in control. I feel like I'm in control of myself for the first fucking time.
Anyways, the Mike documentary, incredible. Go watch it. So, has Boogie changed? No, not really. He's got a bunch of arcade machines he doesn't even play or use that he could sell and doesn't do that.
And I'm surrounded by all the shit that I bought for YouTube videos and stuff. And it's hard to not think about what a fuck up I am.
In a podcast, he says he has to buy Diablo and other video games. No, you don't. You don't have to buy shit. That's a fucking absolute luxury, dude.
Diablo 4 came out. I had to buy it.
Oh my God. And then over the last couple weeks, things have gotten really, really bad. There's been beef between him and my friend Muda. All right, and Keemstar is not happy about him leaking a conversation. Well, I went there to promote the show. I had no clue Muda was gonna come and show his ass, but I respect your decision, Keem. In retrospect, I should have left when your boy decided to pull his shit, but whatever. Be well and good luck with the show. Fuck you, retard. Roger, I fucking hate you. Yeah, I respect that. Do you need attention that much that you just gave away our entire fucking second episode? Fucking shoot yourself in the face and end it right now. God, I fucking hate you. Keem, chill. Literally the easiest task in the world. Keem's really mad, like really genuinely very, very, very mad. Why was he so mad? He did this stuff on someone else's podcast instead of doing it on his own podcast that's monetized. So he missed out on a bunch of money and didn't have a story. Keemstar then asked him to beg on his knees for forgiveness.
I need you to get on your fucking hands and knees, have your girlfriend fucking film you and say, I'm sorry, Keemstar. I'm sorry, Jordy. I'm sorry, fucking Tommy C, Nicholas Diorio, Muta, fucking Tom, everybody that's even fucking cared about the Call podcast. I'm such a selfish attention fucking retard.
And then it's him crawling on his legs because they have the LolCal podcast and he fucked him over a little bit, dude. I don't know, man. It's so weird.
I'm sorry, Tommy C. I'm sorry, Daddy Keemstar. I'm sorry, Nicholas DiFiorio. I don't know how to pronounce him. I'm sorry, Jordy. I'm fucking sorry.
It's so strange. Is he matured? Is he getting back on his feet? No, guys. He's on his knees. He has been posting more frequently, which is cool. He seems to be having a bit of a glow up. Will he ever recover? No, I don't personally think so. His audience is probably bled out, and this is just a little blip in the timeline of Boogie. I think he'll have to end up getting a real job, hopefully soon. I like to see that. But for the time being, he seems happy in the videos, and it's good. But if he continues to make the same mistakes, then he's just shooting himself in the foot before the race even begins. I'm epic at metaphors. I'm epic at metaphors.